PXG has done it again with the launch of a new lineup of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and irons. The new Gen 5 golf clubs deliver significantly increased MOI, faster ball speeds, longer distances, and tighter dispersions, all coupled with the exceptional feel and sound golfers have come to expect from PXG. Schedule your custom fitting or buy online at pxg.com.
Welcome into another edition of the Stripe Show podcast. Here we go. We are up and early this morning as we've got, man, what a great story coming out of the Honda Classic. We got Pierce Cooties on with us, man. Dude, thanks so much for coming on. And what a great story about you and your brother.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a lot of fun. It is unique to say the least.
I mean, crazy. So let's, first we'll get into, we got so much going on in golf, man. I love all that's going on. It's so much to talk about. For so much time last year, we spent so much time talking about another tour and what was wrong with that tour, and instead of what's been so good about the PGA Tour. And so that's what's been great. Rahm winning at the Genesis. I mean, just Rahm is playing out of his mind. Lights out play at the Genesis. Was kind of hoping to see Homa get a second win there, but kind of defend and go back to back. But Rahm really just playing lights out golf right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think there's some stat going around in the world rankings that, and out of like 150 events or something, he's finished in the top 10 in like 86 of them. I don't know if that's perfect numbers, but somewhere around there. And that's crazy. Just starting off my professional career, if I had a 50% batting average at the top 10, I'd be ecstatic. And he's doing it. He's making it look really easy with a lot of wins sprinkled in.
I know it's like that crazy stat where you see Tiger's win percentage versus the closest second. And it's double. I mean, what these guys are doing really truly is unreal. And remember, Rahm had a chance to win earlier this year at the Amex and didn't finish on Sunday. So he's had some other chances to win. He's played really, really well this year. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to continue that, because nobody's been able to win at the clip that Tiger was able to win or contend at the clip that he was able to contend. But Rahm really is putting in some amazing numbers this year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Brandel Chambly said a few weeks ago that kind of having a 5-win season is a big step to being a true superstar over generations. And I don't know what Rahm's most win season is. I think it might be 2 or 3, honestly. I think he might have a 3-win season one time. So this could be a crazy big year for him.
Yeah, it is. It was good to see Tiger get 4 full rounds in. Played a great round on Saturday, shot 67. Only one bogey. Was hoping he'd get that bogey-free round in, but yeah, on Saturday, shot 67. But good to see him out there for 4 full rounds.
Yeah, I love watching golf. It makes it exciting just to see what he's doing. He's still obviously great making the cut and such a big event. And I forget how he finished up, but that 67 was really cool to see him get back into the action of it.
Yeah, it's nice to see Tiger. Golf's better when Tiger Woods is out there and playing. I got fingers crossed we'll see him at the Players. I know he's not playing this week at the Honda. He won't play next week. It doesn't seem like at the Arnold Palmer API. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see him in 2 weeks' time here in Ponte Vedra at the Players Championship. It would be nice to see him as another little warm up, because he said yesterday he will try to play every major moving forward. So he'll want to get some reps in and some rounds in. Maybe we'll see him here in Ponte Vedra. It's a much easier walk than Genesis is, and he knows the golf course very, very well, and he's won here twice.
Yeah, I mean, Players, I don't even know how big that purse is going to be. It's going to be a huge event.
I think it's 25 mil this year.
That's crazy. It always feels like a major, and yeah, him being from or living in Florida now and whatnot, it would make a lot of sense, but I don't know how long his body takes to recover with all that ankle injury and stuff. So there's a good chance he just sits it out till Augusta. I mean, he knows these golf courses like the back of his hand now. So I don't know how much the tournament reps mean to him versus just being mentally and physically ready.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of a selfish point. I just want to see him play here at the Players. I just want to be able to go watch Tiger Woods play again. But your story really is truly, it's unbelievable what's happening with you and your brother. I don't know if this has ever happened before. I'm sure it has at some point, but no time that I remember that we have 2 twin brothers playing one group apart on the PGA Tour. You got in, but via winning two-time Corn Ferry winner, just won the Panama Championship, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, quick turnaround.
And then your brother Monday qualifies. Now, couple different things I want to get into here is winning on the Corn Ferry Tour. Now, do you have how does that work as far as your status goes on the PGA Tour?
Yeah, so everyone keeps floating around 2 wins, and if I get one more, then I'm automatic on the PGA Tour, but that's not the case because there's 2 different calendar seasons. So it's a brand new season on the Corn Ferry. We've only played 4 events, and now we have 6 weeks off during the Florida Swing. So with some of my success out there and whatnot, I've been given sponsor invites into this week, API next week, and the Valspar. And so I'll take advantage of this kind of break of the Corn Ferry and see how my game stacks up out here. And so now on the Corn Ferry, it's changed to the top 30 get their PGA Tour card. There's no Corn Ferry final, so there's no kind of last chance of 25 more PGA Tour cards. It's just full season, 30 PGA Tour cards, and then start up on the PGA Tour hopefully after that.
Now, where are you now in the Corn Ferry standings? Obviously, a win puts you very near the top.
Yeah, I'm 4th on the points. I missed the other 3 cuts. I had hand surgery in the off season and just started playing again in late December. So it's been a quick turnaround. I was just happy to come away with some points in a positive tournament that first couple events.
So right now you're 4th. If you finish 30th, you automatically get your tour card for next year.
Yes. Yep.
Or if you win 2 more times this year, you'd automatically get your tour card.
Right.
Okay, but you are playing. So we'll see you this week. We'll see you next week in Orlando, at Bay Hill and at the Arnold Palmer, and then a week after the Players, at the Valspar.
Yes.
So you'll take care of those. Now, is there anything other than obviously winning? Is there anywhere you could finish in those 3 events that would then move you up to have full-time status on the tour?
If I finish, I forget how many points it is, but if I finish like solo 4th or better, I get automatic in one event. I get automatic temporary non-membership. So that's like what Will Zalatoris did about 2 or 3 years ago. Of you have X amount of points, I become unrestricted, so I can have as many sponsor exemptions as people are willing to give me.
Wow, that's awesome. Let me
And
ask you
that
a
would
question.
be, yeah.
How different is college and there you were playing at UT? How different is college from the Corn Ferry Tour? Because I feel like guys coming out of college now are more ready than ever to compete at the highest level.
I think they're more ready just because golf's deeper and you're playing against so many good players. Like my freshman year, Victor Hovland, Matthew Wolff, Austin Eckroat. I mean, there's a handful of just guys on the Oklahoma State team that are all on the PGA Tour now that we were playing against in Big 12 tournaments over and over again. Now we're older, and then so we're always trying to chase them, and it's just kind of this ongoing process of if you're at a kind of a top, whatever, Power 5 school, you're going to be playing against PGA Tour players or eventual PGA Tour players. So I think the process just builds you because it's deeper. You're playing better golf courses, and you're just it's easier to come out, I guess, now with PGA Tour U and everything. There's some security if you play well in college, or you get rewarded onto the Corn Ferry. And but the biggest challenge and difference is playing week to week versus playing 1 week, having 2 weeks off, playing a week, having 2 weeks off. That kind of ongoing process is definitely a learning curve. And I think this is my 14th professional event, and so I'm still trying to figure out how to just play week to week on a consistent basis.
So the level of play is really not that different.
I mean, the top guys are better. There's a lot better, but I haven't played a PGA Tour event as a pro. But on the Corn Ferry, it's a little bit more consistent golf, but it's not that different, to be honest. I mean, so many guys, like you said, come out of school and then just get their PGA Tour card. There were 4 or 5 players last year that are all a year older than me that went on the Corn Ferry, finished top 25 on the list, and are on the PGA Tour right now. So it's when you were just watching those guys do it, you kind of also gain some self belief that I'm going to do it next.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's so strange is that, you think back in the day, 10 years ago, it didn't seem like guys that were really young. It was like the older guys were winning, the vets were winning. But now it's no surprise to see guys coming right out of college and win. I mean, look at Colin Morikawa, comes right
Yeah.
out, starts winning majors. I mean, these guys, including yourself, are ready to perform at the highest level coming out of college, and that's what's so different about golf is the youth movement has really taken over.
I think you look at any other sport, I mean, call it 25 to 30 is the prime of your career. So I don't think any guys want to waste any time when their body's in the most peak condition. Because after you get past 30, it's almost like a hold on game. How hard can I work to maintain what I had in my 20s? And I don't necessarily believe that your best golf has to be in your 20s because you look around on the driving range, even at Honda, there's just so many guys that are winning on the tour in their 30s. It's just that your body is just you're younger, you recover
Right.
faster, you just all those little things.
Have you played PGA National there before?
Have not, no, Monday was my first time seeing it.
What do you think about it?
It's
Long.
good. It is long. You hit a lot of mid irons into greens. It's not like you hit a good drive and you just get a wedge into the green. And uh, they've they've touched up the course. They kind of have done some bunkers and whatnot. So it's gonna play its usual self. It's gonna play really tough, but I feel like a lot of good shots do get rewarded out there, which is nice.
What's the forecast for the win this weekend?
I haven't even looked. I'll probably look today when I get out to the course, but I haven't heard anything crazy. I think it's just kind of a standard 10 to 15 each day. I think it's a pretty good weather week.
Yeah, I mean those finishing holes at Bear Trap are tough. I mean, water's in play on every shot, and sometimes good shots are just not rewarded.
I know that's what you get back in those grandstands and you think you know where the wind is and your angle changes a little bit, but you can't feel it. And that's why you do have a caddy to do all that work and kind of instill some confidence in you on those type of shots.
Now, your brother Monday qualified. Obviously, you were tuned into that. Explain how Monday qualifying works exactly.
Yes, it's a tough process. So they obviously play on Monday at an offsite course, and it's anywhere from 120 guys to 150 guys, and they
Wow.
play for 4 spots, one round. And it's a pretty brutal process because just to get into the Monday qualifier, if you don't have status on the Corn Ferry, you have to Monday qualify. You have to do a pre-qualify to the Monday qualifier. So
Oh,
there's hundreds of guys trying to get it into just a Monday. Yeah, so it's a tough process, but there are guys that have succeeded through Mondays and gained status this way. So Parker was in a playoff for 5 man for 3 spots and lipped out his wedge shot in the first hole and tapped in for birdie to move on.
oh wow, wow, that's a hell of a way to
Yeah,
get in.
it takes a lot of stress off having to make a 6 or 7 footer. So just
Ain't
tap
that
it
the
in and move
truth?
on.
Have you guys played together since then? As you've been preparing for Thursday?
Yeah, so he finished that. They started at 8 a.m. and so that they finished at like 8:15, 8:20, and he just packed up his car and drove straight to the golf course. And my dad's caddying for him, and so they uh, they just came and met me on the tee about 10 o'clock, and we played a practice round with one of our coaches, and it was good.
That's cool. So you're off one tomorrow playing with Harry Higgs and Brandon Matthews. Now Brandon hits it a mile. I'm sure. Have you played with him yet?
I haven't played with him. I saw him on the range at the Corn Ferry last summer. It Yeah, he hits it a mile, but everyone's playing the same golf course, so it'll be fun to see though.
Is it difficult to put distance aside, like when you play with somebody who does hit it a long way? Does it get to where you want to hit it as far as they do, or do you have to just put that out of your mind?
Unless they're hitting 14 to 14 fairways, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the tougher, more on a golf course like this, it doesn't really matter because bunkers pinch you. The holes turn so sharply. There's very few holes out here where just a 340 versus a 315 drive does you a lot of good. But I guess there are other courses on the PGA Tour that would be a huge factor when there's not a lot of trouble around the fairways. Uh, but this golf course is just a little bit different in that aspect that it's got to be so straight and it's got to be you just can't be in the rough, can't there's water and whatnot. It's just got to be so straight. I don't think distance helps that cause that often.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there are different courses where you can't overpower it, but like the TPC Sawgrass here is at the Players. It's one of those golf courses where if you notice, most of the guys that win are not guys that just bomb it. You can't just bomb and gouge it and overpower the golf course.
Yeah, TPC Sawgrass is a very similar golf course that the holes turn very sharply at 300, 315. So the guys that do have crazy speed, like Brandon, might not be able to get around the corners and whatnot as easily as some other courses. So they all end up kind of laying back to the same area. So there are definitely some holes that a bomber has a great advantage, but I'm not short on speed, so I'll take my chances and see how things stack up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's 9 or 10. One of those holes, it turns pretty sharply there. They're at
10,
they're at PGA
yeah,
National.
they're both pretty sharp. Dogleg left, dogleg right. Nine's up against the water, so I think
Yeah.
almost everyone plays out to the right and hits a 9-iron into the green.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's where the distance doesn't really help you versus somebody who kind of lays back. And we saw it last year at the Arnold Palmer Invitational where you saw Bryson trying to drive the green, Lee Westwood laid back. They ended up both making the same score.
It's a funny game. It's crazy how it only takes one good shot to make a birdie, but also one good shot to make a bogey. So
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how it works that way. So with your brother one group in front of you, will you be keeping an eye on him as you're playing?
oh gosh, it's hard not to at times. We've played some Corn Ferry events in the beginning of the season, and uh, it's great having him in the field, and we're always happy to play in the same tournament, especially a tournament like this. But it is weird because you kind of do catch yourself watching a little bit more and whatnot. So I'll try as much as possible not to watch, but I'm sure we'll be stacked up and I'll see some shots and whatnot.
Yeah. Did you guys play a lot together as kids?
Yeah, we played practically every day together. But we played a lot of other sports and we were always on the same team all through middle school and early parts of high school. So uh, being around each other in competitive atmosphere is pretty normal and we enjoy it.
Now I realize if I ask Parker this question, I might get a different answer. So who's the better player?
I mean, I've had some early success and I had a I had a nice college career and whatnot, and so I mean, his game's obviously very good. He's just world ranking wise and all that. He's trying to catch up a little bit.
What now? Your world ranking is 241,
So yeah, I believe so, somewhere around there.
and what's he?
I think just outside 700th. I
So do
haven't
you,
looked in a while.
so he so do you remind him of that at any point?
I don't, but I think he gets every time there's an article written up. I think it's kind of thrown back in his face a little bit. So I think he sees it enough.
That's funny. So any great stories when you guys were kids playing together?
Yeah, we had this one really good story, one really bad. It's in high school we always shared a car. We played the same sports, had similar friend groups, whatnot. If we needed to borrow our parents' car, we could. So we shared this car in our senior year. Our dad has this old 2008 Mercedes that he's like, all right, this will be y'all's car when you go to college. For one of you, one's going to take the Toyota Highlander, one's going to take the Mercedes. And
Right.
so we had a year-long golf competition of every tournament round that we played to see who got the Mercedes. And Parker got a big lead on me halfway through the year, and it came down to the last couple of tournaments, and I ended up squeaking by him to get the Mercedes, and I still drive it to this day. So
That's
it's
awesome.
on it's on its last leg, but it's still going.
And
And
then what's
then
the bad story?
the bad story is our senior year of college. In October, team captains doing a relay race that we've been doing on the football field, and then we did it inside because it's October, it's getting cold in Texas, and, our team decided that they want us to be last in the relay race. It's 40 yards down back, and there's these huge padded walls, and you go down and touch them, and you come back, touch the next guy's hand. It's 44, and we're going down back neck to neck, and all of a sudden, like all the guys moved, and so like the finish line kind of became the wall, kind of didn't, and we both tried to slow down, and it's so stupid. We fractured the same arm, the same bone in our arm, the radial head in our right arm, and so we both were sidelined for about 5 months last year, uh,
Damn.
and then came back in middle of April, and then we won the national championship. So it ended up fine, but it was a really kind of scary time.
Damn, that's awful. And you both fractured the same bone in the same arm doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty well covered story. It's just it sounds so stupid I mean, it is stupid every time I say it.
That's crazy. And then you just had hand surgery, you said?
Yeah, then my season ended in September at Corn Ferry, the second Corn Ferry Finals event, a broken hamate bone,
How'd
so
you
had
do
it
that?
removed. I don't know, it must have given out on some shot, and the numbness just started building pretty fast, and at that point, I was like, "I can't play, something's wrong," and saw a bunch of doctors and had surgery. It's about 2
It's all
weeks
good
after
now?
that. It's all good. I mean, I fight a lot of soreness, and I'm still pretty weak in my left hand, but, like I said, these are kinda freebie events. I kinda just get to see how my game stacks up and still trying to build back a lot of health.
Are you confident that your game will hold up out on the PGA Tour?
I know my good golf does, yeah. I have no doubt that it will. It's just such a weird process coming back from injury and such a forced timetable. If I had all the time in the world, I probably would have just started playing competitively again. But uh, it's really all good. It's been yeah. I had this surgery in late October, again November. Yeah, so it's really been all right. It's just a weird process. Coming back from injury is never fun. I know it's so many guys out here deal with it just from the ongoing week to week process, but
Right.
it's it's coming back as it should. And I'm confident everything's gonna work out.
As you get ready to play this week, what's the biggest strength of your game? What do you lean on the most?
I lean on just a consistent tee ball. I I drive it well. I keep it in front of me, and then like every guy, you got to have a hot putter to win. So those are kind of the two most important parts of the game. If you're in play in a good position off the tee, you're going to end up with some close birdie looks, and you got to capitalize when you do.
Are you pretty consistent with the clubs in your bag? Because you see some guys, it seems like they show up with a different putter every week. Like they're always changing. You know what they say? A guy with two putters really doesn't have one. So are you consistent with that?
Yeah, I haven't switched anything in my bag in a year now, a year and a half. So everything's
Nothing.
been really nothing. Everything's been really consistent. Same wedges, same irons. I played a 5 wood after I fractured my arm last year just because I didn't have the speed to get a 2 iron off the ground. I say off the ground for a pro standard to be able to hit a high cut and hold it
Right.
on one of these greens. Uh, but now that I did that, I kind of just love the ease of the 5 wood. So the 5 wood stayed in the bag last year. But other than that, that's been the most equipment change I've had.
I see the TaylorMade hat. Are you full TaylorMade through the bag?
Full tailmate through the bag and then all Nike clothes. It's a good deal.
Nice. I love the new TaylorMade Stealth too.
It's great. I didn't realize that'd be that big of a difference from the first one. I thought it'd kind of be like the Sim and the Sim 2 and whatnot, but the Stealth 2 is a much improved driver of the original Stealth.
What have you noticed as the biggest difference in the two of them?
The lie angle's a little flatter, so I, I mean every modern driver is built to cut, so this just makes it cut a little bit more. The Stealth one was almost built for a anti-cut bias, like they really wanted to build a straight driver. And I get that. It just when you're so used to seeing a cut and then you're trying to work by flattening the driver and all these different lie angles and everything. It makes it a little bit of a complicated process. So just having a more naturally flat driver and just cleaner lines on the back end of it, it's been nice.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's a great driver. And I've got a which irons do you play?
I played the Blade, this P730. Uh, Gosh, I've played those for about 4 or 5 years now, so don't know any different.
Yeah, I'm more in the P790. I don't think you want to play the 790s.
I've been driving iron in the 790 as a kind of a backup club, but it feels nice off the face. Goes a long way.
It does. It does. A lot of forgiveness in the 790s, a lot more in the 730s.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so as you and your brother are coming up, and we've all everybody's heard and talked about the LIV and everything that's going on. Was LIV ever something that you guys were approached by or looked at?
Yeah, I was the number one ranked amateur in the world coming out of college, and they made a an offer, and I it was a lot of money, and but I want to be doing this. I want to be chasing the PGA Tour. I want to be playing in America consistently, and uh, I just want to be on the PGA Tour. My granddad had a great career on the PGA Tour, and it's all I've ever thought about and wanted to achieve. Live didn't kind of fit my goals, so I'm happy with where things are at, and I'm just going to keep kind of going down this road.
Wow, I got a lot of respect for that, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's easy to
been
go and chase the money, and some people have done that, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. But I think history matters and legacy matters, and chasing the PGA Tour with unbelievable names on trophies means a lot more than just cashing a check.
yeah. I mean, and just to be honest about it all, like we play for, let's say we, the guys on the PGA Tour, play for more money than I ever dreamed of having. So if I do what I want to do and play consistent, good golf and build a career over 15 plus 20 years, uh, I'm gonna be just fine and not be worried about the financial stuff. So I just want to take care of myself, and I believe that I could do that. And again, I'm just happy with things are trending in the right way.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Well, good luck to you. I'm sure you're. I see you're at see you're in the car now, so headed to the golf course now, and I guess you got a practice round today, later this afternoon, and then tomorrow you'll tee at 8:51 off the first tee. Let me ask you a question: as a play, does it matter if you go off 1 or 10? Do you care?
No, I mean it doesn't. You know you're gonna tee off one day and then 10 the other day, so it doesn't really matter. You just kind of hope you get the right draw of things, but I think the weather's gonna be so good that the draw this week really won't matter which day you tee off 1 or 10 or in the afternoon or early. So uh,
Right.
I don't. Yeah, I try not to look too much into it and just hope it all balances out over a full season.
Cool. Well, before we let you go, I got to ask you a quick. So what we do a quick emergency 9. I'll ask you 9 questions. Some have something to do with golf, and some don't have a damn thing to do with golf.
All
And
right, sounds good.
give me the first thing that comes to your mind. Number 1, what's the worst shot with the best outcome you've ever hit?
Oh gosh, I can think of my worst shot, but best outcome. I'm sure I've thinned some long iron that's ended up a few feet in a tournament, made a birdie or an eagle out of nowhere. I can't I can't think the worst to best off the top of my head.
Because that always happens. You thin one, and you always see it with Hideki. He one hands it through the finish, and then it ends up right next to the pin.
There's Yeah, I think guys are a little delusional, or I say delusional. The guys that watch professionals play, you don't hit every shot perfect, but I guarantee a lot of those miss hits end up pretty dang good. So
Yeah.
uh, can't remember them all.
What's your favorite sports team or athlete?
Cowboys, love the Cowboys to death.
Oh, I'm a Buccaneers fan. You guys knocked us out of the playoffs this year.
Well, y'all got us last year, so
You
it
finally got
all.
Brady.
I know, right? After whatever he was 6 or 7 and now.
Yeah.
Um, Favorite athlete. I mean, I grew up idolizing Roy McIlroy, so uh, that's always kind of been the top for me.
That's awesome. What's your go-to food on the road?
Chipotle, or if there's a Texas Roadhouse, I'll get a steak. I'm not a big go sit and dine by myself kind of guy. So I'll go to dinner with some guys, but if I'm by myself, I'll normally just go pick something up and turn on some Netflix.
Most famous number in your cell phone?
Tony Romo.
Nice. Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan through and through.
You may have already answered this. Player you'd be most nervous with to be paired on the tour.
Yeah, to get paired with, it would be kind of a surreal moment to be with Roy. That'd be a step back, or a step back. Like, it would take me a second, but it'd be cool.
Have you ever played with him?
No, I have not played with him.
Have you ever met him?
Yeah, I've met him. My granddad's a past champion at Augusta, so I have been around to shake his hand, but a long time ago.
That's cool. If you had a side hustle, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I would love to be freakishly good at sports gambling, but I'm not, so I don't partake. I just laugh at my friends and I enjoy riding their bets with them just for fun and entertainment.
Yeah, betting on the Cowboys lately probably not the most profitable thing.
They had a pretty infuriating season because they either blow them out or they would lose to a team they were supposed to win. So yeah, not very profitable.
What's the craziest golf tip you've ever gotten, and where'd you get it from?
Oh my gosh, I try to have my blinders on at all times. Craziest golf tip. I think keeping your head down while you're putting is one of the biggest myths in golf, because if you look at all the best players, as they stroke through the putt, their body and head kind of releases. If you keep your head down, you're going to chicken wing it with your left arm, or you're going to flip the putter over. It's just like the golf swing. It's kind of just one continuous motion.
Yeah, there's bad golf tips online. I will say that we had Kramer Hickok on, and he actually said he got some good tips off Instagram, and they worked. That's when he played at his best. I'm like, hey, man.
Oh my gosh,
Kramer. You can get him anywhere, but you turn on YouTube, you watch 10 YouTube videos, you'll be playing the worst golf of your life.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Tournament you put the most pressure on yourself?
Oh, I played the Byron Nelson, my hometown event, as an amateur. Played my first major as an amateur. So other than those two, it's hard to put scale because as an amateur, you almost have more eyes on you if you play well. And I had a really good chance to play well at the U.S. Open. I had a terrible night. So I think the most pressure I had was being T20 at the U.S. Open, and then knowing a good 9 holes meant I was going to be the low amateur, and I did not play well that final 9. So that was probably the most pressure-packed 9 that I've ever had.
Yeah, it's crazy how golf really truly is so mental. Like, your swing can be great, but if it's upstairs, man, if it gets sideways, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be so laser focused. I'd say laser focused when it's time to hit your golf shot, because there's just people yelling at you. There's stuff moving around. It's hard to. It's not like you're going out and playing with your buddies at 8 a.m. and it's just peak dead silence. Greens are soft. Just kind of a good shot's always rewarded. Crazy stuff happens, and you just gotta stay in your own world.
Yeah, most people don't realize how different it is just going out playing with your buddies versus playing in I mean, not even just a PGA Tour event, but any kind of event.
If you put 100 guys around the green, just to watch some random guy play golf, their heart would beat faster than probably after a mile jog or whatever. Right. It's definitely a learning curve, but that's what I mean. College golf also prepares you because there are a lot of televised events. A lot of people show up to watch college golf, so it's you kind of get used to it. But yeah, for the first time, someone having people show up is an interesting experience.
Music on the golf course or no?
Yeah, just country music. Pretty standard about that.
Nice, love that. I love the country music genre, man. That's good stuff. But what's your schedule moving forward? So we'll see you here this week. We'll see you at the Honda. Then we've got next week Arnold Palmer in the Bay Hill, another long ballpark. Then a week off during the Players. Are you going to go to the Players?
No, I'll go home to Dallas. My girlfriend just got a puppy, so that's pretty exciting. So I have a good reason. She made it even a better reason to go home each week to go see the puppy. So yeah, we're having a good time with that. So I'll go home, and then I have a long season ahead with the Corn Ferry and some other PGA Tour events sprinkled in there.
Nice. So we'll see you at the Valspar as well. And then do you have any other sponsor exemptions lined up?
The Wells Fargo in North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
That's 2 elevated events this season, which will be really nice for me. And then the Byron Nelson the week after in May. So the first 2 weeks of May right now. And then see how things fall. Would love to get that non-temporary membership and play the season out here, but we'll see.
Nice. So you got an opportunity to play a couple elevated events, which is an opportunity to make a little extra cash.
Yeah, exactly. With nice world ranking points, there's obviously great money, but you really don't think about it. Like it literally just feels like another golf tournament. I say I could care less about the money because I know if I perform, that follows. So
It takes care of itself.
Yeah, always does.
Always takes care of itself. Well, man, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Good luck to you. Good luck to your brother this week. But love to see you guys both finish really, really well. And now, if your brother finishes well, will he get into Arnold Palmer as well?
I don't think so. I think if he has a top 10 finish, he would get into Puerto Rico. There's 2 PGA Tour events next week, so I think that's where he would end up if he has a really good week.
Nice. Good luck, man. Appreciate your time. Play well, and we'll definitely talk to you again here on the podcast once you're a full-time PGA Tour member, because you know that's coming.
It's coming. Just got to keep things going in the right direction. Yeah, looking forward to it.
You got it, man. Thank you so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it.
Perfect. Have a good one.
You too.